Chairman. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The title of this session is the racing authorities are individual operators are still running the same race. And it sounds a little provocative, but I'm afraid there seems to exist some mind gap between two sides. As a Deputy Secretary General of the International Federation, I'm today representing the racing side. And also my role is bridging the gap between two sides. So in that sense, I would like to focus on two subjects today. The first one is the harmonization of racing rules, and the other is how to promote racing together. So let me start with the harmonization of racing rules. As the most international sports like football, rules are universal, and such it is, the international competition are possible, then have racing. When we achieve to harmonize, we have achieved to harmonize most of our racing rules. And this is exactly one of the most important roles of the International Federation. But there still remains some important points we have to tackle. And the first, I would like to update you on what are those points and where we are today. So there are two important points to be addressed, and one is harmonizing judging rules, and the other is medication rules. Harmonizing judging rule is never easy task, because each country has its own philosophy, history, and tradition, and also customers in each country are not positive in changing conventional rules. So we set up a committee called Harmonization of Racing Rules in 2007, and maintain dialogue among racing stewards. The committee has achieved harmonization in several important issues, but there is one major outstanding issue, which is judging rules. When a horse obstructs other horses or horse, the movement of horses in question are reviewed by the racing steward under the steward inquiry. But the case could be judged differently, even if exactly the same obstruction happened. So in case of football, it's like an offending player could get a yellow card or a red card. But the difference between football and racing is that if the same case was judged differently in football, I mean the same offense was given a yellow card in one country and a red card in the other, it depends on the perception of referees. But it comes to racing, different judgment can happen because of perception of racing is the same as a football. But the second thing is by racing rules. The same case can be judged differently because of the difference in judging rules. Seeing believing, I will show you the film of the Japan Cup last year. And this filmed the horse with an arrow is an interferer, and the horse with a circle is a sufferer. The arrow is a sufferer, and the circle is interferer, the slow motion. So this is before result stand. And this is of course a steward inquiry. The offending horse is a very disturbed and across the finishing line by 1 3/4 lengths ahead of the sufferer, Rose Kingdom, which very secure. Second place by nose from the third horse, which was Victor Giza, which is the winner of the Dubai World Cup this year. And in the field, the horse ended. Okay, this is the difference policy in between the countries. In Category 1 countries, if the interferer wins the race by say 10 lanes, the horse retains its place. This policy respects ability of the horses. And in category 2 countries, placing of the interferer depends on the performance of the sufferer. If the racing steward judged the sufferer could not get the best possible placing, more precisely the best possible prize money, because of the obstruction, the interferer will be placed behind the sufferer, and Japan is in category 2. And what are your judges? In the case of having the backup, if it was a category 1 country, the result should remain unaltered, because the distance between the winner and the second place is 1 3/4 lengths, and it's big enough to secure the place. And if this thing happened in category 2 countries, if the sufferer had come third, the interferer would have been demoted, because the sufferer could not get the best possible placing. But in this case, the horse secured the second place luckily by nose, and it could get the best possible placing. And the result, after the steward inquiry, result stand, unfortunately, the winner was demoted to second place. So what I would say is there's a big policy difference between category 1 and category 2 countries. And Japan is a category 2 country, but even in the same country, we have some variety of different in policies. So as the cross-border betting is becoming an everyday operation, necessity of harmonized judging rules has never been more important. Unfortunately, those differences cannot be harmonized in the near future. But we are maintaining dialogue among racing stewards through the committee, so please give us for some more time. The next important point is a dedication rule, and it's also not easy to harmonize among us. Basically, all horses in the race should not run under the influence of medication. Why? If the horse needs medication, the horse simply needs rest and should not be put in the races. It is extremely important from the horse welfare perspective, and also the nature of the horse racing is to select good horses. Races are originally to select good horses, a stage to select good horses. And those winners and good horses are coming back to breed. So this is the fundamental policy of the racing. But if its performance was affected by medication, the fundamental philosophy of racing itself would also be affected. The point of discussion here is about the United States, the biggest racing nation in the world, where some medication are still allowed and horses can run under the influence of medication. But in last July, thanks to the grassroots activities within the US industry, the Breeders' Cup has decided to eliminate race day medication for 2 years old races from next year, and for all other Breeders' Cup races from 2013. It's a small step, but a big step forward, not only in terms of racing, but also as an international product for betting. I wish more progress would be made in the US down the road. So let me go on to the next subject about horse racing promotion. Horse racing has a unique position among gaming or gambling products because its unique business model. Take-up rate of horse racing is relatively higher than other wagering products like sports betting or online poker. Having said that, if individual operators can handle other type of gaming or gambling products and promote all of them in an equal manner, what do you think it would happen to racing? I think some customers with high loyalty to racing, which means top 20% customers, that they usually contribute 80% of our sales, would remain whatever happens. But what about the others, especially younger generation, who tend to prefer easy and quick things? I'm afraid they would leave horse racing behind them. This trend clearly can be seen in PMU turnover on online poker, which dominate 80% of online gambling market in France. And in the worst case scenario, turnover of horse racing will be cannibalized by other easy and quick products in the long run, if the way you promote horse racing is the same as other products. So the question is how to promote racing differently. The first thing we have to do is to know the core competence of racing. In other words, in which area the racing can fight against other products in our favor. What are the differences between the racing and other gambling products, and which part is more appealing to customers? So I'd like to ask you one more question. What are our products? Our products, we place trail, trifecta, 6, recently 5, or can cruise or whatever. But of course, they're the products, but from another perspective, races are also our products. Probably total operators are very good at promoting products from gaming side. But when you promote your product from racing perspective, who knows better about races? My opinion is racing authorities and racing organizers. They know a lot of stories to tell. So last year, I cried after triumph because I had my own story. In 1999, a Japanese horse named El Pasa came second in the act. It was a history, but he was just beaten just half length, really mighty horse called Monju. And 11 years after, which was last year, the same friend, same jockey, the same stable staff brought a horse named Nakayama Festa. And the horse stayed at the same French stable as 11 years ago. As a representative of the Japan Racing Association, I can see the stable staff once or twice a week during their 50-day stay, and actually part of my feeling was with them. And in the Akitani, Nakayama Festa ran bravely, but it was beaten by just a head this time, so our dream could not come true. But there's one more story. The ownership of this horse, Nakayama Festa, was transferred from a daughter to his father because an illness took her life. Her father wanted Nakayama Festa to run in France because his daughter loved Paris very much. And luckily enough, the horse was so talented. In the Akitani, the horse ran with all of our hearts on his back. I cried because I had my own story. So if not, the race could have been the Akitani, and the race could not make me cry. For new customers, if they do not know the value of the Akitani, they do not know the value, and they will not be moved by the race itself. So I'm sure you think it would be nice if you can tell our customers racing stories. That's why I want those operators to work with the racing authorities or racing organizers in race promotion. I will report the development of this forum to the next General Assembly, which will be held on next Monday, and where all racing authorities come together. Luckily enough, today here we have around 15, 20 representatives from racing side, and they surely understand the importance of cooperation between both sides. So, here back to the first page, are we still running the same race? I'm sure we are, and the answer is yes. And now you know the way how. When you get back to your country, please do talk with racing authorities and racing organizers of your country on how we run the same race. In closing, I'd like to show you another promotional film.